Hey everybody, it's me, Andrew. Get out into nature and tune in for yourself. Resonate with the Earth's electromagnetic field via 432 Hertz, the universal frequency. Balance out psychologically and emotionally, and further strengthen your brain and your heart's coherence as well. Get a plant based diet going for yourselves today and nurture yourself right back into life. We are literally herbivores in our nature. Further balance out your physical body's pH level and to get with alkalinity, then you can generate some static electricity. Sending me some love telepathically, set attention to your mind, and set intention to communicate. That is all there is to telepathy. You are now tuning in to Great Days. Today, I wanted to talk about balancing out chemically. Okay, so chemical balancing from an imbalanced state, and how chemical imbalance is pretty much part of a type of warfare, that's going on, um, and how this is also used to keep people out of their sovereignty. So let's get into this. So chemical balancing, right? Balance is pretty much health, right? Because whenever you're balanced, um, you're more likely to be in a healthy state. Simple. Um, when you're imbalanced on any of the aspects or on any level, it can set off various different. It can put you into falling into disease, right? Disease being a diseaseful state. So being out of your ease or out of a peaceful state, a relaxed state, um, within this vibration is definitely of a disease. To be put out of that vibration of easefulness. So whenever you're chemically imbalanced, you're it's definitely going to induce problems, right? Um, and this is something that society is doing all over, right? This is how it's functioning. It's functioning off of chemical imbalance. This is how it's keeping itself going. This is how it's keeping people in slavery, and this is how it's keeping people ignorant. This is how it's keeping people sick. So that small percentage of people who have accumulated more knowledge can work within that percentage, mass percentage that is being kept ill, right? So that's obviously part of biochemical warfare. It doesn't necessarily have to be a chemical warfare using actual weapons, and it doesn't actually have to be war unto another country. It can be like a type of civil war, right? But kind of like let's say the DEA can the DA can the DA can most definitely induce chemical imbalance, right? If they really wanted to, which I'm sure they do, since they have control over the drug enforcement, right? They're enforcing various different drugs. And the pharmaceutical industry actually it is not what you really think. I mean, they're definitely not to be supported because the pharmaceutical industry is been deeply corrupted, and most of what it is producing now is of a synthetic nature, you know, um, and due to this fact, it's only an imitation of the natural, right? So because it's an imitation, it can actually bring you into a state of connection, but it can only sustain or maybe mimic a connection for so long until it kind of falls back out again, so then you're needing more of it, and they kind of keep you in that cycle so that they can drain people of their money, because the things that the pharmaceutical industry is developing is that it's most definitely synthetic, so it doesn't actually work as well as some natural medicine would do for you, and it's being made more addictive. So that in itself is going to keep you going. It's going to keep you going back to that supplier, the pharmaceutical business, with your hard-earned cash. You know, which the cash is just also a representation for energy that you have accumulated, from your hard work. Usually it is. People are most definitely working hard for their money, which is just energy, so they're taking your energy, your life energy, because that's what money is, and they're just giving you bullshit, you know and that is supposed to heal you, those whatever it is that you're getting, um, but it's only an imitation of a natural product, because everything was derived from nature, but now it's only giving you a fragment of what the natural source was giving you, which could easily heal you. Now it doesn't heal you at all, and it's just kind of prolonging things, you know. So you're definitely paying more for something that's not going to work, and it's probably going to chemically imbalance you, which is what I'm talking about. So instead of actually healing you, which is supposed to bring you into a chemical balanced state, it's going to put you into a chemical imbalance, and you're so medically uneducated or uneducated, and this is the ignorance, that you don't actually know your own chemical states, right? You don't know your own cycles, you don't know your own rhythms, you don't know your body, you don't know your mind, you don't know anything anymore. So you've forgotten it all because you put your power into other people and other organizations, and then you've relied on them for lifetimes. So now people are owning you in that aspect. People are owning what you were always supposed to take care of yourself, you know, so they can chemically imbalance you. You can get caught in that cycle of giving them your energy or your cash for something that's not going to work. I've heard that the whole thing is producing a lot of sugar pill as well, for things that are supposed to be curing you. And I'm sure they do this to a lot of older people, because they won't really question it, and they are set up with money, finances, to just be giving, so it's kind of like an autonomous system, where they're just draining these older people for sugar pills, and the older person obviously is just going to be taking the sugar pills. Nothing's actually going to be happening but a placebo effect, that's one thing that they do. And obviously frequency plays a lot of part in it as well. Frequency can be used to chemically imbalance you, and I want to say this is a lot of it. The biochemical warfare can just be frequency, like phones. For one, this phone I'm using right now is most definitely, I want to say, it can possibly be poking holes in my electromagnetic field. This leads to chemical imbalance, because it can literally lead to a physical ailment, right? Kind of like the ozone layer. If the ozone layer was poked intensely enough, the Earth would have gotten drastically sick. It's the same thing with you, because it's just fractal. So, and that's obviously the 5G frequencies. These are making you sick, right? But you can there's many different things that you can do to basically protect yourself from these. You just got to do the research, right? But a lot of people are doing work for that. Um, but chemical imbalance, something you definitely want to avoid. You can balance yourself out chemically by just letting yourself be, you know. So let's say you're caught in a series of sicknesses, right, that have become very chronic, and you went to the doctor, right? I'm not going to tell you to like abandon your doctor or even any medication or anything like this, but one of the best ways to heal yourself is to just let your body heal itself, without any application whatsoever. Because I want to say this is what a lot of being or this is what a lot of animals do. They kind of just let their body handle the disease. They don't go looking for any type of herb or any type of medicine. If the animal comes under a sickness, they kind of just rest for a prolonged period of time until their body heals it for them. And this is because within our genetics, we have the ability to heal ourselves from almost anything, but the genetics have been modified, so we lost these empowerments, or we lost these abilities to be able to heal ourselves. So this is why we also rely on medications and things like this to heal ourselves nowadays. But you don't actually need any of that if you can reactivate the various different codons, right? Things like this fluctuate the genetics a little bit, play in the genetics, um, and you can open up these once again, right? But it's not easy because it's been made something to keep you out. They definitely don't want you getting into that stuff because it's something that poses a threat to their systems, right? So chemically balancing yourself happens of itself, is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to use like anything to balance yourself chemically, or balance yourself out on any aspect, because this is something that happens of itself. You know, the more that you connect yourself with the earth or the universe, the more that you're going to be able to balance yourself out. Absolutely. You don't need to apply anything. Nothing needs to be applied because it's something that happens of itself. Everything is already in absolute balance. Like the yin and yang. This is a fundamental principle of the entirety of the universe, and this is absolute balance. This is what the universe is, you know, and you are that. So you don't need application of anything ever to balance yourself out. It's just that somebody has dug their hands into your mind and placed seeds there to grow, to keep you reliant upon a system of balancing for imbalance that they created, so they can fluctuate upon that, right? But you don't actually need to rely on anybody because it's already balancing itself. You just need to let it balance itself, and that's patience. You need the patience before you go getting entangled in trying to balance yourself out, because in trying to balance yourself out, you're only going to tip the scale, but you just got to let it be. um, there's a lot of lies and there's a lot of ignorance, and this is how they keep you in these various different states, because obviously if you were living in the truth of things, you'd be able to heal yourself from anything. Okay. um there's definitely things that doctors can help us with, but there's a lot of stuff that has corrupted that whole system as well, right? So if you're in your health now, um keep it. and don't give it away and at all, because it's already in your hand, you know. So I say don't rely on anything, because the body has the ability to heal itself, you know, and strengthen that ability. Invest in it with your energy, with your money. Invest in that and make it stronger, so that you become more and more immune to anything. You know, a lot of it is also psychosomatic. This basically means that you can create diseases in your mind, which is actually true. Um, Stress, disorders, things like this, they're all created in the mind. Even physical diseases are created in the mind. Cancer can be healed with frequency, and the mind is frequencies. So if you were able to apply your mental frequencies to the body, and in absolute precision and absolute mastery and absolute balance, then you would be able to heal yourself of anything, without application of anything but the frequency of mind. Mind is all. This is a principle of Hermeticism. So uh, they're obvious taught. Tahuti is obviously telling us this, Hermes, because it's the truth, you know. So you can definitely do that. You can just heal yourself through the mind. But a lot of people can't do that because there's a war on the mind, or there's psychological warfare, and this is to turmoil the mind, to corrupt it, so that instead of being able to heal yourself, you're causing your own diseases. You can use it for both, because it can do anything. Mind is all. The universe is mental. Everything is mind. So you can use it to create diseases, you can use it to heal diseases without application of anything, once again. Um, but the whole psychological warfare is to use the mind against the peoples, right? And that's why there's so much psychological turmoil, because it's a part of that frequency warfare, right? So people are causing their own damages because they don't know how to use it. They don't know how to use the mind. Um, not only do they not know how not only do they not know how to use the mind, but they can't protect themselves from the warfare, you know. And a lot of people don't actually even know there is warfare of the mind, but there is. And it's most definitely killing a lot of people, you know. And chemical balancing can literally come with that. You can just, if you allow yourself to be, you connect with the earth, chemical balancing is going to come to you, you know. But chemical imbalance is something that they're actually financing off of. So they need people to be chemically imbalanced, you know. These are people who are making money off of you as a slave, or as a sick person, right? Like the pharmaceutical industry. They're obviously making money off of your sickness and off of your miseducation. So if you were educated and you could heal yourself, and everybody was, then we wouldn't actually need that, because we'd all be healing ourselves. So it would be gone, right? So obviously they have to invest in the whole system of making the people sick enough to rely on their system to keep them founded, right? Found in a foundation. So you can avoid that. You just gotta you look within yourself, and this literally solves everything, because it can all be found within you, right? And you can look deeply within yourself the more you connect yourself with nature, because nature is going to balance you out, right? You need that negative discharge, that grounding to the earth. Otherwise, you become too positively charged, and this can lead to disease as well. You know, so you got to know how to take care of your electromagnetic field. Otherwise, you can grow physically sick. But you don't actually have to know everything about it. And there's the magic of it. You know, there has to be a lot of magic in it, or there has to be a lot of self-organization in it, self-maintenance, or self-sustainment in it, you know, to make things easier, because it's of a simplicity, right? So this is why you want to connect yourself with the earth, because the earth, in connection with it, or nature, you can step back into that simplicity, into that self-organization, into that self-sustainment, without any type of application for chemically balancing yourself, or just balancing yourself. And the more that you can chemically balance yourself, for example, um, you come into higher dimensions of awareness, and this is the growth. This is humanity's adolescence. This is humanity's adolescence expanding into higher and higher dimensions of being, right? The collective triviality and the unessentials is us getting caught in distractions, you know. But we can, as we start to grow up as a species, we can integrate ourselves into a planetary awareness, and then expand out further into a galactic awareness, or a solar awareness, you know, um, which is already there. You know, we just got to expand into it. But there's also the unessential, the trivialities, things like this are distracting us. So the process isn't as accelerated as it can be, you know. Um, and the more that you balance yourself out as an individual, you can accelerate that process within you, and it kind of fractalizes out, you know, because it's very contagious. If you do it within yourself, then everybody around you starts to pick up on it through the morphic genetic field, or the morphogenetic field, and it kind of spreads like a fire, you know. And then we're back on the track of progressing in large quantum leaps, you know. And that's what's needed. And it comes with balance. You balance yourself out, and you can expand, you can grow like a flower, you know. And the more sunlight you can capture in more and more concentrated forms, and the more that you're able to capture sunlight, the more that you're able to understand the deeper and deeper. And this is what is needed for traveling metaphysically. This is of the metaphysical travel itself is within the adolescence of humanity, right? Because right now we're like infants, and this is why we're so caught in entanglements, quantum entanglements, right? We're not supposed to be so deeply caught in a quantum entanglement, or even time loops, but the capability to expand out even more is there, right? But we're infantile. I know I am, you know, but we're growing as a species. So the growth itself comes with balancing out. Chemically balancing out is very important, because everything has its chemical translation, right? You can use the chemical state, or just the chemical the dimension of chemistry to do a lot, you know. So invest the energy into it, and balance yourself out, and grow, as a being, and then you can influence the people around you slowly, and it spreads from there, and it helps everybody, you know. But that's gonna be it for today's video. I do thank everybody for watching once again. Peace out, one love, and have a great evening.